What car is good for shredding tires, drifting corners, and annoying the neighborhood WhatsApp group? Well, it's the one and only BMW M2. And since we're on the second generation of the M2, I figured there's a story worth telling here. Also, this is my favorite BMW, so it's probably gonna make this video regardless. What happens when BMW makes a 400 horsepower rear-wheel drive two-door sports car? Well, you get an M4. But if you're one of the people that's not interested in the M4's length or styling, in that case, you need a BMW M2. The BMW M2 story begins in November 2015 when BMW decided that the boring old 2 Series needed some of that M-power treatment, with the first few customers getting their hands on their cars in 2016. But the true story of the M2 begins in 2007 with the E82 1 Series. The 135i Coupe came first with a 3-liter turbocharged inline-6 engine that only lasted until 2010 when BMW decided that they wanted to make their cars more powerful and reliable. In 2010, the new 135i was released with the N55 engine. The N55 engine was known for reliability and a whopping 302 horsepower in a tiny 2-door coupe. A limited edition 135IS came out making 320 horsepower. This had an M performance exhaust and custom interior. But unfortunately, this car did not get much love because it was overshadowed by its more impressive. The BMW 1M Coupe came with the N54 engine making 250 kilowatts and 500 newton meters of torque. And since this was the glory days of the manual transmission, it only came with a 6-speed manual. If you walked into a BMW dealership in 2011 and asked for an automatic transmission in their best performance car, they would tell you to go home and fuck yourself. The front and rear track of the 1M were widened by 74 and 46 millimeters. It's a tiny amount, but it made a huge difference. The car also had a limited slip differential and its weight was perfect. BMW managed to lower its curb weight below 1.5 tons. It weighed 1,495 kilograms. Yep, they lowered the weight by 5 kilograms. Initially, BMW only wanted to make 2,700 units for the whole world, but people kept buying them, so they ended up making 6,309 units. And since only 100 of these units ever made it to South Africa, it means that they're super rare here. But besides its incredible sound and performance, the 1M's timeless styling made it a must-have for both collectors and boy racers. The last 1M was sold in 2012, and BMW, after going so hard for so long, was tired of making a crazy 1 Series, so they took a break. Alright, so here's a little context. In 2013, the corporate boys over at the BMW headquarters decided that the 1 Series was now going to become a platform for hatchbacks, and the 2 Series was going to become a platform for their coupes. Because two doors coupe, you see what the German boys were saying? So that meant the new M135i was going to be a hatchback, but that also led to the birth of the M235i, the brand new 2 Series coupe. This was the first of the mighty M lights. This car came with the new revised N55 engine making 322 horsepower, and it got up to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.7 seconds. In my opinion, this is the point where modern BMW really began making the high-speed machines we know them for today. Because this is when they ditched the original ugly, fat steering wheel for something more slim, clean, and a better looking and feeling design, similar to another German brand that makes pretty fast cars. So, in 2016, the engineers were finally done cooking up the next generation of German 6-cylinder machines with the sole purpose of turning expensive dinosaur juice into horsepower and performance. In 2016, the all-new BMW M240i was released, and it came with the B58 engine making 355 horsepower stock from a 3-liter turbocharged inline-6. And as soon as this car hit the streets, tuners all over the world fell to their knees and cried tears of joy.
And you don't seem to understand.
Because instead of spending weeks in the shop building a fast car, they could now email each other the same basic tune, slap on a set of downpipes, and make 150 horsepower with ease. This finally brings us back to 2015 when BMW decided it was finally time to make another purebred M performance 2-door coupe. The OG M2 was released with the N55 engine making 365 horsepower. That's enough horses for each day of the year. Unlike the 1M, this car came with a 6-speed manual and a 7-speed DCT, meaning anyone with a fat enough wallet could get behind the wheel and send it sideways with ease. addition of the automatic gave the new M2 an unmatched mainstream appeal, and literally everyone who could afford one was trying their best to buy one. This car sold so well that after 2 years, BMW decided to say fuck it and threw away both transmissions and the N55 engine. The engineers at BMW then grabbed the S55 twin turbocharged engine from the BMW M4, making 405 horsepower, then slapped it inside the M2 with the new 8-speed transmission and called it the M2 Competition. And this was the BMW M2's prime, because in 2019 and 2020 you couldn't scroll on any app for more than 5 minutes without seeing a video of one of these doing a burnout or drifting around a corner. And since it didn't come with a manual, a lot of the BMW purists were extremely upset about it, and they made their voices heard by complaining and not buying any of the other BMW models. So much so that during 2020, during the global you know what, while half of the world was coughing to death, during 2020, BMW called together their most loyal and, more importantly, wealthy clients.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And offered them the brand new BMW M2 CS. With the same engine as the regular comp, it now had the ECU management of the M4 competition, resulting in 444 horsepower, that's a very pleasing number, and 550 Newton meters of torque. But what really set the M2 CS apart from the regular competition is that the M2 CS had a 6-speed manual that the purists could, when they're doing this one, as much as they liked. It also had carbon ceramic brakes, M suspension, and an adaptive electronic locking grip. BMW went so far to save weight on these that the control arms and wheel hubs are made from forged aluminium, and the transmission tunnel is made of carbon fiber. But the carbon fiber doesn't stop there. The hood, the roof, and other essential aerodynamic components are all made of carbon fiber. The key part that makes the M2 CS's design work so well together is that it had the new M-Spec wheels that came with jet black or matte gold finish, wearing Michelin Cup 2 rubbers. And since 30 of the 2,200 units that were sent out globally made it to South Africa, the BMW M2 CS had a starting price of 1.6 million rand, and the few that went to auction sold as high as 2 million. And that brings us to the present day, with the new G87 M2 powered by the S58 from the M3 and M4, which is essentially a new and improved B58 that comes with a 6-speed manual and 8-speed automatic. It now makes 476 horsepower, but cars have hit the dyno straight off the showroom floor, making a minimum of 500. So BMW is clearly cooking their figures, but in a positive way. But if you can't afford one of these, feel free to get the brand new G42 M240i with the brand new B58 engine and an 8-speed ZF gearbox, and the X-Drive option, which makes it an absolute beast in the streets. Well then, thank you guys. You've made it to the end of the video. If you watched the whole thing, I really appreciate you. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who likes BMW information. New videos, shit, whenever I feel like making them. I won't lie and say next week, because that's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna say the week after that either, but yeah, they'll come if they come. Peace.